So you may remember I made a tutorial on how to make this giant no feather boa based off of one that Velma Bell made, and I kind of tweaked it a little bit to fit my own design. Lots of people are asking what would happen if I did it in layers, so I'm gonna make some pride flag ones because it's not June anymore, and why not? So here are the colors that I'm making. I've got all the ones to make rainbow, and I've got ones for a trans pride flag as well. Each one of these is 50 yards. This is a 12-inch. If my calculations are correct, you only need 3 tubes, but since the rainbow one takes 6, I'm actually going to be able to make 2 out of this. Again, if my calculations are correct, we're going to find out. If you remember from my other video, I ended up sawing up a very large roll of fabric. The benefit of these is that they're already cut, and I don't have to worry about that. Unfortunately, because I am doing kind of the color blocking, I can't do what I did last time where I had just had them in a box underneath me and literally just fed all the layers through my machine. So I have to unroll all 50 yards of this to sew them kind of individually and then piece them together. Otherwise, if you didn't really want to do kind of color blocking like what I'm trying to do, and you just want kind of a mixed colors, you could absolutely just unroll these, dump them in a box, take the ends of them and just roll them out of the box like into your machine as you go. Definitely an option, but I'm trying to do something a little bit different. Right, here is the dreaded math to figure out how this is going to work. So I start out with 50 yards, I fold that in half, 25, fold it in half again, 12 and a half, fold it again, I get 6.25 yards. That's going to be my magic number. The trans flag has 5 different bands, but it's 3 different colors. It should also be a pink and a blue over here, but I don't want to do that. So instead, what I'm going to do is sew a really big one in this order and then fold it in half. That's going to give me the white in the middle and the pink and blue on each side. And when you do that, the equivalent of the 18.75 feet that is yards, because there's 3 foot to a yard, and you end up with about a little over 9 feet. Now, this does shrink a little bit just because of how the stitching and stuff works. So it should end up with a 9-foot boa, which is a pretty good length. The one I made in the other video, I think, is closer to like 11 feet. So it is a bit shorter, but that is like floor over my shoulders down to floor. It's a little too big. So this should be perfect. People are curious about the settings on my machine. The recommendation is a walking foot here. Some machines have this built in, mine does not. And what this does is it's got feed dogs, just like what you have on a regular machine, up on the top, so it evenly feeds the fabric through. When you're working with layers of sheer material like this, they can tend to slip a bit, and this helps to prevent that slippage by pulling from both ends, basically. If you don't have it, don't worry, you can still do it without it. You just may end up with a shorter piece at the end, just because the top layer is not going to want to feed as much as the bottom layer. And that's just how it works. But as for the rest of it, it is just a regular straight stitch that I use, just as the standard setting with length. Really do any other adjusting. You could definitely do it with a zigzag stitch if you felt like it, but the straight stitch seemed to work just fine with me, and this requires a lot of thread. I use up almost an entire spool of the 500 yards doing one of these, so it takes up a lot of thread, so that straight stitch is fine. No need to get fancy. So now I'm going to start out with the white. I'm going to take this and unroll the entire thing. I'm going to clamp this in my machine, because while you can kind of correct it towards the end, I would like this to evenly fold over. So if I can keep the right sides together while unrolling all 50 yards of this, it's going to be easier in the long run. And this is how I'm doing it. I'm just literally holding it and unrolling it right down at my feet. I don't plan on moving so that the pile can just kind of exist. Also, an important part, I have this set up for a 10-inch, which means that this is on the 5-inch. I need to move this tape over to the 6-inch because I'm working with a 12, so I can get an even line down between the 12 inches, which is 6 inches. I'm just going to butt the fabric up against that line. It's just a visual cue to help me get the center each time I'm sewing. La, 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 la. It's going to take a while. I got a lot of rolls. Some people were asking about fraying. Yes, the edges will fray. That's just what's going to happen with any fabric that doesn't have a finished seam. It's not that big of a deal. With that black one, as I'm kind of using it a bit more, it does shed a little bit. So it's not shed free as I kind of said the first one, but it's like little tiny fibers. So it kind of looks like somebody kind of had a haircut and they kind of like dusted off their head after. Way better than feathers, way better than feathers. So I'm still obviously making more of these and will continue to make them instead of buying the feather ones because one, as people pointed out, cruelty free, and two, so much better than cleaning up all those dang feathers. All right, I'm at the end of the tube. I'm gonna take it off, and I have this piece that I'm going to place down. I'm just going to place it right on top of the other one, line it up with my little tape piece here, and just start sewing. Not much more to it than that, and just kind of keep doing this. Fold it in half, repeat, fold it in half, repeat, until I've got all the layers that I need. And yes, it's really boring. Alright, I've got the spools. This is 8 layers of each of the colors. Sew them all together by grabbing the end. and just pulling up. I'm gonna put this aside and work on the rainbow. All right, got the trans one and the 2 rainbows. Now it's time to cut. Now I've already cut an angle here, and that's because I reinforced the stitching on here to make sure it doesn't come undone. But what I'll be doing is just cutting about 1-inch strips or so, following this 45-degree angle. What that allows to do is that it's cutting on the bias so that this edge won't fray. I'm just gonna do that all the way down, and do it again all the way down on this side. And you can see I'm gonna stop just kind of right before that stitching, and then continue on going down. And yes, this takes a while and my hands are going to hurt. A lot of people are suggesting to use a rotary cutter at this stage. You definitely could, but you know, when you have 48 layers of a slick material, it can move around on you. I don't like the control as much that I have. It's harder to stop exactly where I want, which is why I prefer the scissors, but do whatever works for you. All right, here it is all cut up. You can see it's already starting to naturally fluff. And now you shake it to fluff it really, really, really up. Look at this thing. It's so fluffy. Woo! And of course, got the rainbow to fluff up. I love this so much. Yes. Okay, but wait. I'm a boa monster. But yeah, I think that was pretty successful. It's not quite as like segmented as I wanted in the colors. Like you can kind of tell like there's more purple there, and you know, like I was hoping it would be kind of a bit more color blocked, but I am very happy with it. I think it still definitely reads as rainbow. This one you can still see like the streaks of blue, so it still looks like the trans flag. But yeah, definitely color mixing works really well. I love this so much.